All right, everyone, how y'all doing this lovely day? Today we are back, back with another video. Today we are here to talk about Nintendo's 2026. It's gonna be a big year for two things. One is the first year where we have a full year of the Nintendo Switch 2 being out. It is also where we're gonna cap off the first year of the Nintendo Switch 2, and we have a full year games to work with. It's gonna be a peak time. It's gonna be a peak year. You're gonna love to see it, right? One thing I want to talk about is that we kind of don't know the release schedule yet for the last half of the year, right? We did have a Nintendo Direct back in September that gave us a lot of games coming up for the spring or first half of 2026. Let's talk about it real quick. Here are the games that are already confirmed for the first half of this year. We got Mario Tennis Fever coming out February 12th. We got Final Fantasy VII Remake for Nintendo Switch 2 dropping in just a couple days, actually. By the time you're watching this, it's probably already going to be out, coming out January 22nd. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book coming out in spring. Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition also coming out in spring. Tomodachi Life Living the Dream as well, spring. Fire Emblem Fortune Weaves is just a vague 2026. Rhythm Heaven Groove, also 2026. Splatoon Raiders. When they shadow dropped, announced Splatoon Raiders last, was it June or July? Last summer. We just have a vague 2026 as well. And we also have a lot of Pokemon also happening. I already made a dedicated video talking about Pokemon's 30th anniversary, so I'll keep this pretty brief. I expect Gen 10 this year, coming out holiday 2026. Pokemon Champions is also just a vague 2026, and Pokemon Pokopia, that Dragon Quest builders type game, coming out March 5th, 2026. One thing you'll notice immediately is that all of these games are slated either for the first half of this year or just a vague no release date 2026, right? Everything is super vague. Nothing is really set in stone yet. Now it's first chance to talk about when do we expect the next Nintendo Direct. Usually Nintendo is very predictable when it comes to Nintendo Directs. Usually you should expect 3 Directs a year. 3 main core Directs a year. One in end of January, mid-April. One for the summertime, so June, July. And one for the fall. Around September is usually the one we usually get, you know? In terms of the upcoming Direct, I'm expecting it to be early to mid-February, to be honest. It'd be crazy if I'm recording this in the next day or in 30 minutes, the announcement on Direct. Right, so what should we expect? Since we're still in a transition year, right? I'm still expecting some Nintendo Switch 1 games this year. We are getting Rhythm Heaven, we are getting Tomodachi Life, right? To what end are they gonna be? I personally have no idea. I can see some very light, not core focused games, something akin to Rhythm Heaven or Tomodachi Life, where oh, these are awesome, right? But they're not your Zeldas, they're not your Marios, they're not your Kirbys, right? I can see a new Box Boy, sure. That's my prediction. Box Boy 4 coming to a Nintendo Switch near you. Yeah. All right, now let's talk about what can I expect in the next Nintendo Direct. I don't think it's gonna reveal anything too crazy. I think this will be more of a refresher of what games have already been announced are coming out. Give us solid release dates for them. Maybe give us one summer game that's gonna be dropping. When do I think the already confirmed games are coming out? Well, Nintendo has a habit where every month is a first party release, right? We can already kind of slot in what games are possibly coming out, right? January was a pretty dead month. We did get Animal Crossing Switch 2 Edition come out in January. Also, we are getting Final Fantasy VII Remake. While obviously it's not a first party game, it is a heavy hitter. February, we already have our game, Mario Tennis Fever. For March, I'm expecting Yoshi and the Mysterious Book to come out, specifically late March, because Pokemon Pokopia is also coming out on March 5th. Pokemon and first party Nintendo, they do tend to avoid each other, but since Pokopia is a third party developed Pokemon game, I don't think that's really an issue. We already had a similar case happen where last November, Kirby Air Riders and Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment came out in the same month. So I think Yoshi and the Mysterious Book can come out late March. Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition, I'm expecting that to come out early April. Specifically so that can tie in to the Mario Galaxy movie, which, let me check when it's coming out. Oh, April 3rd. Yeah, I'm expecting the Switch 2 edition of Mario Wonder to be coming out early April or just in April, just to tie in with it, because while it's not formally announced, we already know Rosalina is going to be in the Mario Wonder Switch 2 edition. Tomodachi Life, not gonna lie, I can also see that being April, specifically because it's a Switch 1 game, and I don't have any other place to put it. It's already confirmed to be spring. I can see that being April or May. Fire Emblem Fortune Weaves, I can see that being a July summer game, not gonna lie. My only real basis to say it's coming out in July is that I feel like it, and Three Houses came out in July. That's my only basis. It just slots in, to be honest. Rhythm Heaven Groove, it is stated to be 2026, but I don't think they're gonna wait more than a year to release it. So like maybe May. And Splatoon Raiders, I believe that's coming out in June. I don't think they're gonna wait longer than the summer period to release Splatoon Raiders, since it's a spin-off game after all. All right, my next prediction for this is that the next Direct, we're finally gonna know what on earth is happening with Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World came out, the launch of the Switch 2. It's had a couple update systems. We have a couple balance changes, a couple of a lot of bug fixes, and a couple of track changes, right? Specifically with the intermissions with Koopa Beach, right? Or the routes for Koopa Beach, right? It's been a couple months. So it has been a while. It has been around 6 months since the release of Mario Kart World, and we haven't gotten a roadmap yet. So Nintendo's approach for this game is really interesting. They already said repeatedly in their financial documents that they want Mario Kart World to be their evergreen headliner where people can enjoy this game for years and years to come, right? I get that. The problem is you kind of need a roadmap to like have people excited to come back for the game if they have already played it, right? And we just haven't gotten that yet. Their communication has been really poor. We have gotten a couple balance changes, a couple map changes. To that end, there is no roadmap, there is no communication. I would appreciate if they took the Splatoon approach. While they're not perfect, usually whenever they do balance changes or an update, they'll talk about it ahead of time, and once the patch does happen, they'll inform us when to expect the next update, right? If Mario Kart World doesn't want to give us a proper visual roadmap, even just the basic text communication would be appreciated, right? Because I think we have like 2 or 3 updates of Mario Kart World, but I don't think they've been, at least to my knowledge, they haven't really been scheduled out in a, sensible format. It's mostly just like, oh, new update's out, wait 3 months. Oh, an update's out 2 weeks later. An update's out, right? Like it's kind of been sporadic. Surely by this Direct, we're gonna have a roadmap. The reason why I didn't expect the roadmap previously is that Nintendo's thought process, at least to me, this is just pure speculation, right? They just want to have the kids play Mario Kart World before anything drastic or anything new occurs, right? They want to wait until the holiday season ends, that everyone finally plays their game, and they can do like final balance changes before they actually start adding stuff, right? So I hope that starting this year we can start giving new characters. We already know in the game's credits, right? We already know that there's gonna be more characters, right? King K. Rool and Voidcom are already not data mined, just because data mine doesn't exist yet, but they're in the credits for the game, the VAs for them, right? So they're going to come sooner rather than later. Is just the big when Nintendo decides to pull the trigger, right? Now, how they're gonna do it, I would love to see new tracks. I would love to see new characters. I would love to see new cosmetics, right? I would love to see any of the tour costumes that are designed for each character, like specific to each character, to return, because how Mario Kart World works is that there's like general costume, like touring, off-road, right? There's general categories of designs per character. I want to see true character-specific costumes, right? I think Rosalina is like the one with the Aurora suit, and that's just straight from tour. So more tour costumes would be awesome, more tracks, new characters, right? But yeah, Mario Kart World, how they're gonna implement the tracks remains to be seen. It could be just like a new level of the world. It could be an archipelago type situation. We're exploring different islands. It could be in the sky for all we know. It could be like a galaxy situation where we travel to different planets and all that, of courses. We gotta wait and see. Now, how they're gonna distribute it. Now, this is where it gets dicey. Are they gonna go paid expansion route, or are they gonna go free updates? Personally, free updates. Obviously, I would like to see free updates. It is, we gotta bring up the pricing situation. We gotta bring it up. It is an $80 game. Granted, I feel like majority of people got the game by a bundle, But if you haven't gotten a Switch 2, or if you have a Switch 2 and you don't have Mario Kart World, $80 a lot. $80 a lot, you know? I don't want to see the reality where it's paid content. Granted, if it's like paid content, but it's bundled into Switch Online, I can see that working. It is still a lot, but I can at least swallow that. Pause. That is a lot. I personally, like, you heard from me. I'd rather it be free, right? But if they want to make, like, if Nintendo's goal is to just make this a game that you keep coming back to, just like Mario Kart 8, right? They gotta keep the game's lifespan going, man. It's been 6 months and we haven't gotten anything too drastic going on, right? The game has less courses than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you know, base, not including DLC, but like, we just need more tracks, man. We just need more tracks. We need more tracks. And even just like knockout tours, give us the option to make our own. The game is also in dire need of just quality of life. One thing to just make online more alive, give us the ability to create our own knockout tours, or at least have a mode where we can vote which segments are in a knockout tour, right? Or even just giving us more knockout tours in general. Giving random general online lobbies the ability to just vote for a track, just like I can do in private lobbies and voting for a track, so people can stop complaining about, you know, the in-between routes and core tracks, right? Just basic quality of life stuff is greatly appreciated. All right, let's move on from Mario Kart World. What are the new games we can expect for the rest of the year? I want to bring up this image. We have a lot of anniversaries happening this year. This year is the 40th anniversary of Zelda, the 40th anniversary of Metroid, the 40th anniversary of Dragon Quest. I'll bring that up later. Kid Icarus 40th anniversary. Castlevania is hitting its 40th anniversary. Sonic the Hedgehog is hitting its 35th anniversary. Persona hits 30. Pokemon hits 30. Animal Crossing hits 25. Luigi's Mansion hits 25. Pikmin hits 25, and probably a lot more as well. 2026 is a big anniversary year, right? So what can we expect? I think the anniversaries themselves kind of gives us a good guide to work with, right? So let's start with the big one. We're still knee deep in Mario's 40th anniversary, right? We got Mario Tennis Fever dropping in a month, and I don't think they have shown everything. We haven't gotten the full year reveal for us yet. And I know there was the Mario 35th anniversary a couple years back, where they pretty much showed all that they have to reveal for that direct. I don't think they did that here. I refuse to believe they did that, because we are missing our 3D Mario. I think what's gonna finish the anniversary is gonna be the 3D Mario for the Nintendo Switch 2. When do I think they're gonna reveal it? I feel like they can reveal it next direct, or if they want to have a close schedule or close marketing window, probably December direct. I do believe the next 3D Mario exclusive to Switch 2 is dropping this year, summer, or maybe September. Now, another title I believe is dropping this year is Luigi's Mansion 4 to tie in with the 25th anniversary of the series. I think it's also time for Luigi's Mansion 4. Next Level Games, they've been kind of quiet lately. Luigi's Mansion 3 dropped in 2019. Mario Strikers Battle League came out in 2022. So the 3-year gap between those releases has been 4 years, dog. 4 years for Luigi's Mansion 4. I believe it's due. I believe Next Level Games is ready for Luigi's Mansion 4. I believe it's going to be coming out on Switch 2 only as well. I don't know. We did have that campaign last year in October where all the Luigi's Mansions are on Nintendo Switch family systems now, you know? I think it's time for Luigi's Mansion 4 coming in October. You're here first, you know? 2D Metroid. It is Metroid's 40th anniversary as well, but I am kind of 50-50 on this, because Metroid Prime 4 has come out, you know? The dust is settled. The game is done. We don't have to talk about it anymore, right? But Metroid Dread came out in 2021. It was developed by Mercury Steam, right? Have they worked on anything since then? Oh, yeah, okay. They have worked on some stuff. Blades of Fire, right? Is it time for a new 2D Metroid? The Metroid one's the only one I'm kind of 50-50, because I can see a new 2D Metroid happening. Maybe announced, but I don't know about coming out. I don't know about releasing. That's a we shall see right there. Zelda's 40th anniversary. Zelda has a very predictable release schedule, right? Every year there is a Zelda release. I think it's way too early for next mainline Zelda. I also think it's way too early for the top-down Zelda games, like Link's Awakening, Echo Wisdom, Gresco. I don't think it's time for another Gresco game. It's also way too early for a Warriors game. One just came out last year, right? So we only have a couple things to fall back on. Either a re-release of an old Zelda game, on the Switch/Switch 2 or a remake/remaster before thinking about it, right? I was like, oh, it's the 40th anniversary of Zelda. Well, it will make so much sense if you just remake Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, right? Now, I do think there is going to be a campaign for Zelda later in the year. When did The Legend of Zelda first drop? Oh, February. Yeah, so we might have this campaign sooner rather than later. I do not think we're getting an Ocarina of Time remake or a Majora's Mask remake, nor do I think we're getting a remasters of the 3D games. I think it's possible. It's definitely in the realm of possibility, but there are two games that are kind of seemingly missing on the Nintendo Switch/Switch 2 that I feel like people forgot about. The two games I think people legit just forgot about: Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. We already have remasters ready, both Wii U era, that they could just put on the Switch and Switch 2 and call it a year. I do think it's way too early for all the games I mentioned prior, and it probably just is too much to ask for a re-tinkering of 3DS remakes. These are just ready to just release at any moment. They could probably do a dual pack, what they did with like Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2. Wind Waker, Twilight Princess bundle. I don't think that's gonna be all for the Zelda's anniversary. Nope, I ain't saying that. I think for the Zelda anniversary, this year's game or games could be these two. Now, I also think we're going to get a trailer for the Zelda movie. Could it be as early as February? Probably not. But in the anniversary campaign for the entire year, I could see the Zelda movie getting its first trailer this year, as well as other like celebration details and all that, right? But I think the two major things this year for Zelda will be Wind Waker HD/Twilight Princess and the Zelda movie trailer. Kirby. I love Kirby. I love Kirby. Could I see mainline Kirby being announced for this year? Yes. Do I see mainline Kirby releasing this year? No. Kirby's been kind of busy the past year. We've got Air Riders, Star Cross World, right? Both of which are to like tide us over for next Kirby. Now, next year is Kirby's 35th anniversary, and I fully expect mainline Kirby to drop next year. Hal's busy cooking with that game. Let them cook. What I can see is another re-release. I think there was rumors last year of a Robot remaster or a Triple Deluxe remaster. I can see that happening this because I feel like Return of Dreamland Deluxe team, they've been kind of quiet as well. I can absolutely see a Planet Robot/Triple Deluxe remaster made by the same team. This could also be the one on the Switch 1 game that can get like an HD version on Switch 2. I can see this being a Switch 1 game as well. Pikmin 5. Pikmin has been getting a lot of movement lately. I think Pikmin 5, I can see a Pikmin 5 coming out this year. Now, Pikmin has a funny release schedule because Pikmin 3 was on Wii U like 13 or 14 years ago, right? And it was like a full decade until Pikmin 4, right? Pikmin has the most hilarious release schedule, but the thing that's kind of consistent with them is that every 3 years you should expect a new game. Granted, this just say there was a 10-year gap between 3 and 4, but that's because there was like 2 other spin-off games in between them, right? And Pikmin's been getting a lot of movement. They've been showing about it in Nintendo World. They've been doing that whole animation short with the Nintendo Animation Studio. They've been also getting, there's also was like murmurs of a Switch 2 version for Pikmin 3, right? Pikmin 4 is a candidate I can absolutely see getting a Switch 2 edition, right? I think Pikmin 5 is probably gonna happen this year. It is also the 25th anniversary of Pikmin. I think Pikmin 5 25th anniversary, or even just, I don't know, not even re-release. The whole series is already on the console. What am I even saying re-release? No, it's already on. Everything's already on Switch. Yeah, Pikmin 5. All right, Monolithsoft. Monolithsoft has been quiet, but they have a very predictable release schedule. Xenoblade Chronicles is a series where you gotta wait 5 years for a main entry, right? And we did get a Xenoblade game last year, right? Xenoblade X Definitive Edition. As Xenoblade fans, we are used to waiting a lot, but usually the holdout doesn't feel too bad, because realistically it's every 2.5 years for a new game, whether if it's a remaster or a new release. We usually have that in-between game that's a remaster. Now we're in that waiting zone. We're gonna have to wait until the next one comes out, or whatever the next entry is revealed late this year, right? Maybe in that September direct. I do not think we're getting Xenoblade this year. Like, unless it's like a surprise Switch 2 edition for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I do not see anything Xenoblade related dropping this year. Now, Xenosaga, on the other hand, not made by Monolith, was made by Monolith, owned by Bandai, however, when they were still working for Bandai. I would love to see a Xenosaga trilogy remaster on the Switch/Switch 2. Do I see it happening? I hope for it every year, but like I feel like it's one of those inevitable things, because the more and more the Blade series tries to connect or is connecting with the Saga series, the more of a reason why the remaster ports need to exist, right? I feel like especially after X's Chapter 13, they gotta do it. The Saga edition, the Saga ports, they gotta happen. That's my copium. That's my copium pick, right? Now for third-party releases. This year is gonna be a heavy third-party year, especially since third-party companies are gonna be all on board with the Switch 2, right? RE9 is going day one on every platform, including the Switch 2, which is amazing. I would love to see all the RE games to be natively ran on the Switch 2, right? We do have Resident Evil, what's it called? Biohazard and Village coming into the Switch 2 at the same time as RE9, right? I'd love to see the original remakes of Resident Evil make their way to Switch/Switch 2 that are not Cloud Edition. I can also see Final Fantasy Rebirth dropping this year as well for Switch 2, and potentially Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 get its trailer, right? Whatever it will debut or even come out same time for Switch 2, that remains to be seen. But I do see Final Fantasy Remake Part 3 being announced this year. I would like to see a Final Fantasy 16 or even a 14 port makes its way to Switch 2. Dragon Quest also hits its 40th anniversary. Dragon Quest has been making big waves. There's been big motion on Dragon Quest on Switch. Both the 1, 2, and 3 remakes have been heavily featured in Sound Directs. I wouldn't be shocked if Dragon Quest 12 is like first gameplay review makes its debut on a Nintendo Direct. I feel like Dragon Quest 12 to celebrate its 40th anniversary, it's high time. Kingdom Hearts, I would like to see native ports for those games on both Switch 1 and Switch 2, right? It's doable, it's possible. Maybe Kingdom Hearts 4, that's just copium. Well, it'll be cool, right? Those are the games I see being announced this year, right? Now let's talk Nintendo Switch Online. Switch Online's been here for a hot minute. There's a lot of expectations of a DS NSO. I do not think that's coming out this year. Maybe that's a next year thing, right? I do not see that dropping this year. We do have Virtual Boy coming out in February. Who gives a who cares? Who cares about the Virtual Boy? That's so funny to me. But Virtual Boy dropping next month. In terms of N64 games, I would love to see original Smash Bros. Make its way. Diddy Kong Racing, DK64, and Castlevania 64 make its way to N64 Online. As for GameCube games, we're kind of already running out of games that was already revealed, because it was a slow few months, but they've been like quickly adding those GameCube games past few months on the NSO app. There's only 3 games missing from that original reveal bunch: Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, Pokemon Coliseum, and Mario Sunshine. I can see both XD Gale of Darkness and Coliseum dropping next month to coincide with Pokemon Day. Mario Sunshine, they can realistically drop that at any moment. Realistically, I can see that dropping March or April, again, to coincide with Mario Galaxy's movie. Other GameCube games I would like to see on the platform this year, I'd like to see Mario Party 4. You know, just have Mario Party, one of the many Mario Parties on GameCube on Switch Online. Have Mario Kart Double Dash. I would love to play Double Dash online. Oh boy, that would be so peak. Metroid Prime 2, that would be kind of interesting. Also, I would like to see Animal Crossing Original on Nintendo Switch Online to coincide with the 25th anniversary of the series, you know? But this comes with a big question. How is Nintendo going to handle games that already have HD remasters / re-releases on the Nintendo Switch, right? Because now we're hitting that era where like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door has an HD version on Switch. Metroid Prime 1 has an HD version on Switch, right? How are they gonna handle those re-releases, if they're gonna do it at all? Like, will Metroid Prime Original ever even be on GameCube NSO? Will we ever see Thousand Year Door show up? There's a lot of questions to be asked, and we just don't have any precedents to really make a final decision unless something does happen or something never happens, right? So it's a very big wait and see. I don't think either the N64 games or the GameCube games, I don't think we're gonna have those lulls anymore. Because when N64 NSO first came out, there was a big lull waiting for games to drop, and that's mostly because they were so tinkering on the emulator, right? GameCube games, they're just locked to Switch 2, right? So they don't have to really worry about performance overhead. Granted, there was that, you know, big lull The first few months where just nothing was dropping for GameCube NSO. But now we're in that like, okay, every month we are just getting a GameCube game. So one curveball I could see happening is like a 5% chance, but it'll be really funny. Dreamcast NSO, boys. Dreamcast NSO would be hilarious to see. What basis do I have on this? Nothing at all, but there is a Sega Genesis NSO app for some reason. A Dreamcast one would be hilarious. I mean, I'll be down. I'll be down for it, right? Hey, if this is the only way we can get the Sonic Adventure series on consoles, sure. Just let it happen, right? But that's my cap on NSO updates. I do not think we're getting DS NSO. That's probably a next year thing. All right, Switch 2 editions / enhancements. We'll be getting a steady trickle of Switch 2 editions and a not so steady trickle of Switch 2 enhancements. I would still love to see, obviously, every game possible getting a Switch 2 native port. That's not gonna happen, right? But I actually have noticed a trend that I don't think people are talking about with Switch 2 edition. And I'm talking the paid Switch 2 editions. A common trend I've been seeing on games, not third parties. This is just strictly first parties, right? First party Nintendo. I've been seeing a trend that evergreen titles on the Switch 1 are more likely to get the full fat DLC Switch 2 edition. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder, Mario Party, Kirby Forgotten Land, Starcross World, Animal Crossing, right? What is in common with most of these games? These are evergreen titles people can pick up at any moment and have fun. They're not really tied to anything that like is majorly story bound or is tied to like relevancy, right? These are games that are just always gonna keep on getting sales, right? That's like the one thread that I haven't seen people really talking about. So what other games could I see getting full fat DLC Switch 2 editions, right? Pikmin 4. I can see that getting a Switch 2 edition. Switch Sports. I know, it's Switch Sports, but Switch Sports sold a lot of copies, y'all. It is truly the avatar of Nintendo gaming. It has sold 13 million copies. I can easily see a Switch Sports Switch 2 edition drop. Also, if we don't get a 2D Metroid this year, what I can also see happening is a Metroid Dread Switch 2 edition, probably with a new side campaign, and obviously 4K 60 or 120 FPS. Pretty cool, right? Those are really the only ones I can really think of at the moment for Switch 2 editions, full fat DLCs, right? Now for enhancements, this is where things get a little fun. I have a bias for RPGs, as you all know, right? I want all the Xenoblade games to have enhancement patches for like 4K 60 or even 1440p 60. Please, even 60 FPS, like 1440p or 60 1080p, I'll be happy. The games already run great, don't get me wrong, but those games deserve to hit like 4K 60. Like, those are some gorgeous titles, and Xenoblade 2 specifically needs the enhancement patches, right? I would also like to see any of the older Pokemon games also receive enhancements like Sword and Shield, Legends Arceus, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, right? Brilliant Diamond did get a compatibility update fix recently, so there is that, right? Hyrule Warriors, Definitive Edition, and Age of Calamity getting enhancements would be nice. And all the RPG Mario games, like Sparks of Hope, just Mario RPG, the Mario and Luigi Brothership game, right? Thousand Year Door, you know, would be nice to have enhancements as well for like the full 60 FPS experience, right? That's my predictions for games that will get Switch 2 editions / enhancements this year. And notice I have left out one omission. I have not talked about one of the biggest Nintendo games of all time in this video. Let's talk about it. Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers. What is going to happen with Smash Brothers this year? I am a person who believes Smash Brothers is not happening this year. I do not think Smash Brothers is happening this year. Could I see it being announced? Maybe I could see it being announced. But unless Sakurai's a madman who sleeps in an ice bath, I cannot see Smash Brothers happening this year. Could a Switch 2 edition of Smash Ultimate with a new fighter pass happen? Absolutely. I can absolutely see that happen. But a new entry, a new roster, new movesets, new stages, new everything, reboot, dropping this year? Nah. The only reason why Smash Ultimate came out so quick is that it reused a lot of the Smash Wii U's engine, right? The only reason why I think Smash 6 is gonna take a little bit longer because it needs to differentiate itself from Ultimate, right? That's why I'm thinking it's gonna go full reboot route, kind of like how Mario Kart World went full reboot route instead of expanding on Mario Kart 8, right? Yeah, I there's no world I can see Smash Bros. Dropping this year if it's not a Switch 2 edition, because I can see a Switch 2 edition happening if it's a new fighter pass essentially to hold us off for the next eventual Smash game, right? Because Kirby Air Riders just came out a few months ago, right? And like, I don't think Air Riders took 5 years to make, right? But they're still updating the game with balance patches, right? That implies to me that like the team hasn't disbanded yet and the game was ready in like the last year or two, right? Like I don't think the time is with this one unless there was 2 teams, right? I don't see it. I can always be surprised, right? But I don't see a Smash game happening this year. I can see an announcement like this year. I think this year's gonna be mostly just what we discussed about today: 3D Mario, Zelda, Pikmin, and all that, right? But Smash Brothers, I'll be surprised. All right, y'all, that is gonna be it for today. A bit of a yapping video, you know, but I think this year's gonna be a pretty beefy year. It's gonna be a good time, especially if you're big on third parties. If you're big on third parties, oh, you're gonna be feasting this year. That's supposed to be a good one, right? That's gonna be it for today, y'all. Let me know down below in the comments what game do you want to see come out this year. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today, y'all. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. I'll see y'all next time. Bye now.